Just 2 days until the 153rd Open gets started at Royal Portrush.
Our reporter Jamie Weir is there for us in Northern Ireland. Very good morning to you, Jamie. Scotty Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, the favourites this week, but what about the defending champion?
Yeah, good morning to you, Bella. It hasn't been the greatest season so far for Xander Schauffele. Started the season with a little bit of a rib injury, missed a few weeks. Green shoots of recovery, though, promising signs in the Scottish Open last week, a tournament that he's won before, a top 10 finish there, tied for 8th in Scotland. That was actually only his second top 10 finish of the season, but the other one did come in the Masters as well, and he is a player who is able to peak for these major championships for these 4 weeks of the year, and he certainly did that last year, didn't he? Because winning the PGA Championship and then just 2 months later winning another major championship, and that back nine at Royal Troon last year was one of the great back nines in major championship history. There were so many players all in the mix, and then suddenly Xander just turned it on the afterburners and pulled away from the chasing pack and won that Claret Jug in quite some style. He has now returned that Claret Jug to the RNA. He's determined to win it back on Sunday and become the first man since Padraig Harrington to retain the Open Championship. But he was down in the Harbour Bar yesterday, Portrush's most famous watering hole, and he caught up with Johnny McCann when he was there.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's good. It's good motivation to get it back. Yeah. Definitely. But of course, it's a bittersweet moment. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really a trophy guy, so I had it for a couple weeks, and then my parents took it and had plenty of wine, mainly wine out of it, I think. Yeah. So it's been really cool to have, really cool to look at. And like I said, yeah, hopefully I can get it back again.
Actually, Jamie, what are the plans today?
Yeah, well, Tom, just a bit more fine-tuning for all these guys heading out in the course now, getting used to Portrush, some of the unique runoff areas around these greens. This is a links course which poses a different challenge to many other open courses. You've got holes that are pointing in lots of different directions, so you've got to factor in which way the wind is coming from. It's actually quite flat calm at the moment. There's not too much wind to speak of. Very first man out this morning, as he was yesterday morning, Rory McIlroy, trying to get out there before the hordes of fans arrive in, because as you can imagine, he's like the Pied Piper when the fans do arrive in. Rory McIlroy, they all want to follow Rory, and he's out there this morning with his good friend, his fellow countryman, 2011 champion golf of the year, Darren Clarke. So the two of them are probably around about the 5th or 6th hole now, around about White Rocks and that stunning backdrop with the beach below them at the moment. Quite a few players already out this morning. Others will be heading down to the range. We'll be hearing from some big names later on today as well. Bob McIntyre, runner-up in the last major championship at Oakmont at the US Open, is facing the media in about 45 minutes' time. Jon Rahm a little bit later on, another man who contended at the PGA Championship a little bit earlier this year. We'll be hearing from Bryson DeChambeau this afternoon, the world #1 Scotty Schauffele, a little bit later on as well. Bryson DeChambeau and Jon Rahm, two of the live players in the field this week, both in the field by courtesy of the fact that they are major champions in recent history. Other live players have had to make their way in and qualify. The likes of Lee Westwood qualified so impressively at Dundonald just a couple of weeks ago. But we'll also be getting the all-important tee times at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And remember, when it comes to an Open Championship, the weather can play havoc and you can be on the wrong end of the draw. So I'm sure a lot of players will be waiting to see whether they've got an early-late split or a late-early split, and when they'll be getting their 153rd Open Championship campaign underway.
Yeah, how is the weather looking this week, Jamie?
It's okay at the moment. It's a little bit chilly and overcast this morning. We're expecting the heavens to open at about 11 o'clock this morning, and then some sunshine this afternoon. So classic Northern Ireland, Bella, 4 seasons in one day. And then looking ahead to Thursday and the championship, well, to be honest, it's impossible to call because it just changes all the time. At the moment, it doesn't look as if we're going to have too much wind to speak of, which I'm sure that the RNA and the members here would love to see a bit of wind, because they'd love to see these players tested. They could tear this course apart in benign conditions. And at the moment, a bit of sunshine, a bit of rain, but to be honest, very hard to call because it changes all the time in this part of the world.